It was a great turnaround, man. I had anxiety. I know he had anxiety about how it came out, but it was a great watch. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long year. It's been a rough year. But I'm only going with the things that made me happy in 2025. Top 10 moments, starting at 10. The end of the Kwami Brown beef. Yes, it's over. It's finally over. It's been what, 3, 4 years of back and forth, drama after drama, disrespect after disrespect. And yes, I was all for the bull, but it had to come to an end. Finally got the answers that I was seeking. Unfortunately, it was all fabricated. It started with a whole bunch of fake drama that turned into real drama. But me, I stay focused. I stay laser focused on the goal. The goal was to prove what the original claims were fake, and I did not do what he said I did. And once that was ended, and it was proven that I did not take money out of his daughter's mouth or his kid's mouth. I did not have him benched. And once I proved that, all of it was irrelevant after that. All the beef, all the name calling that was called on my side to his side or his side to my side, it all was gone. I can no longer entertain something that originated from nothing. So, so the beef is finally over on my side. Um, so no matter what goes forward, it gets no response from me. I hope he does well. I hope he grows with his content and his YouTube career. God bless him and his family. Again, I apologize for anything that I've said towards him, his family, his friends. It's over. Left in 2025. At 9, I'm a champion. No, not NBA champion, not college champion. Lost that. High school, we never made. I don't think I ever went to the AAU championship. No, no, backyard, the backyard 2-on-2 champ. Yes, backyard 2-on-2 champ. Got my championship. My championship feeling. I'm gonna tell you, it feels good. Oh, it felt good. Yes. Some people will say I paid to win a championship. That's neither here nor there, right? I can't confirm or deny those claims. All I know is who got the ring, who got the trophy. That's me and my co-partner, B. Russell, Brian Russell Jr. We are 2-on-2 champions of 2025, right? We extended the battle mode to live mode and we won the championship. And that was big. And I beat Nick in the championship, which is even better. Number 8 on the list, the one and only Skip Bayless, where I called him out on a take. He responded to me, and I decided to listen to what he was saying, dissect it, and then look at all the flaws in the video. I gave it a 3-hour video response detailing what he did wrong. Skip, just like a great he is, he was so intrigued with my take and my style that he wanted to work with me. So we had a few meetings to come up with a show, and me and him did 6, 7 episodes together. Which just the first episode alone, just me and Skip Bayless, right? I seen what he did for Stephen A. Smith, seen what he did for Shannon Sharp, seeing what he was doing for Paul Pierce. So to give me that opportunity to do that, that was bigger than anything, right? Skip is back. Skip is in full effect, and is happy that I'm happy and grateful that he gave me the opportunity to be on the same screen. Number 7, YN. I love them YNs, man. The YNs got some motion, right? So number 7 is Mr. Neon, right? Where for a year, Neon's been trying to get me to do content, and we could never get together, but when we did, it was real chemistry. Our one-on-one match where he actually hit shots that I didn't think he was going to hit, and the fact that he let me into his world, where it's his fan base is the young guys, the young kids, and he's just of a big troll just like me. So the fact that he let an old guy like myself come in and be young again. Go out there, play ones, put me on a different pedestal. Got my content a little bit younger, right? Where the 2K community, where my Twitch communities went up, Discord went up, and I got to thank Neon for giving me that opportunity. Now at 6, this could be a little controversy at 6, but it's just gonna be honest with you. Getting out of jail and walking down those steps in the flip-flops. Yes, that is part of the list. That is 6. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure anybody who got out of jail is happy. Yes, I was only in there for 2-3 hours. I get that. But the fact that I was in there was the issue, right? Didn't know why I was in, didn't know why I was in there at the moment of time until I got out and started reading shit. But to get out and see freedom, that gotta be on the list. I'm sorry, so I had to put it 6. Went viral for it. Shit, 5-10 million people done seen me walk out smiling and happy. Yes, so yes, that is number 6. Now these top 5 is very, 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 very good, right? It's some of these established me, in the content creation world, where I feel like I was already established, right? I won 9 awards for the Guild Arena show, right, during that whole time, which none of that made the list. Not because it's not important, but because individually there's things that was put into motion that helped. Number 5, Stephen A. Smith inviting me to Fanatics Fest in New York to do that big event, all 2 hours, right? all 2 hours, where it was me, Tracy McGrady came in as a guest, Chris Webber came in as a guest, and then you had the normal the cast, Miley, Stephen A., and Jay Will. But the fact that I was the one that was there for 2 hours, the energy. I mean, if anybody remembers that episode, we did go viral. We went viral for the wrong things. Yeah. The ADHD in some of you people, man, you gotta stay focused, right? Where me and T-Mac, this was the me and T-Mac episode where he came out and said, if you replace him with Kobe, he could win a championship. Not all championships, a championship being Shaq's sidekick. That was it. But the topic was about, does rings matter? And from T-Mac is, how does my career change if I won a ring with Shaq as a sidekick earlier in my career? How does that right there, and my career stays the same, changes my career? It shouldn't. That was what we were talking about. And somehow, as soon as they heard Kobe's name, everybody twisted and pretended he was gonna, sub in for Kobe and he could have won 3 championships. No, it was just 1 championship then, because the idea of this, if rings matter, then why is someone like Klay Thompson not in the top 75? Where Dame Leonard is in the top 75, he has no rings. How come Ginobili's not in the top 75? How come Manu Ginobili's not in the top 75? How come Scottie Pippen is ranked 31 on the list by ESPN or Bleacher Report? But John Stockton is, in the teens. But Scottie Pippen is considered the best Robin of all times. So how can he be that far behind with 6 rings, and then John Stockton, who's considered a sidekick to Karl Malone, is in front? Didn't make sense. So that's what we were challenging. But it turned into something else and then blew up. But the fact that I got to challenge that notion and reporters picked up on it, if you look at the list, it's changed since then. And people will start getting put into their right order. It's still going to take some time, but the fact that that was the conversation that kind of started to reevaluating, does rings matter? And if they do, whose ring matter? Does the number 1 option ring matter? Does the number 2 option ring matter just like number 1? There's number 3, you know what I mean? So there's layers to these things, because even though Scottie Pippen has 6 and Jordan has 6, no one puts them on the same playing field. Kobe has 5, Derek Fisher has 5. No one puts them in the same room. So there is different levels of rings, and it needs to be talked about. Now that came in at number 5. Number 4, Dallas sent them to us. Nico Harris, the lovely God he is, sent us a demigod and Luka Doncic. The day Luka Doncic got traded from Dallas to LA is the 4th best thing that ever happened to me personally, because I'm a LA guy. You see LA on the chest. You see that LA? That's LA on the chest right there. So of course, Laker Nation all day. Nico is a hero to us over here. I don't care how you feel about him over there. Here, Jesus, most important man to the future. So if you know me, I didn't personally like the Euros, right? I felt they was, I'm USA all day, right? If you know me, during the Olympics, USA all day. I'm over there in France talking USA all day, red, white, and blue. So I wasn't really fond of the Euros taking over the NBA. I was not even trying to hear the notion of it. But as soon as you get your one, you switch up quick. And I switched up quick. Jokic is my favorite player in 2025 and 2020. As long as he's a Laker, he's my number 1 favorite player. I got all the jerseys. I got 77-7. If he wants to flip it around and make it Elway, I don't care. I got it. So when Luka Doncic got traded to the Lakers, that was the 4th best moment of 2025. 2023, a lot of people can't say this. It could be 2 or 1. It could be. But I'd have it at 3. Stephen A. Smith coming to my home to get on an episode. Now, I don't know if y'all feel the same way I feel, but you got to remember, this ain't a studio. This is my home. Stephen A. Smith in my home. At this point, I got Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless in my home. So when he said he was going to come on Gil's Arena, yeah, we all thought, yeah, okay. Yeah, right. But he kept telling me, hey, when I finish this deal, you tell Kenyon and Rashad I'm on their ass. And I tried to warn him. He said he coming. And he said he gonna be on y'all ass. And sure enough, Stephen A. Smith showed up. We're all black. he looked like Martin from was it New Jack City? The New Jack City Seed? Yeah, no, that was Stephen A. Smith. He came here wearing all black with the chain, and I had to capture that moment. And what I did was I made his entrance memorable for him, because he was coming in the Lions Den because, Kenyon Martin and Rashad felt that they going to speak their mind. So I didn't want it to be some tense thing. So his entrance, the Coming to America theme for him, right? Had the flower girls throwing the rose petals, right? And from that alone, he's seen that what type of environment that I was putting for him. So, we can get to just the information that he had to, talk about. And then at the end, I played on the him and LeBron James, beef where LeBron pulled up on him. So if you watch that episode behind him, he has the security where it says Stephen A. Security. That was for LeBron. So, I did my trolling into the episode where I let the episode be more about, him, Kenyon, and Rashad, whatever they had to going on. So, Stephen A. Smith coming into, my home is the 3rd best moment, but it could easily be 2 or 1. At 2 is something that I've held off from talking about because I needed the other side to be a part of it, so it wasn't a one-sided story. Because it wasn't a one-sided action, and that is Shooting Guard, Netflix special with me and Javaris. I had opportunities to talk about it, to write about it, but it just didn't feel right in my spirit to do it without him. And why I say without Javaris is me and Javaris never had beef. That moment where the beef wasn't really about us. It was how I didn't like the way he was talking to our teammates, being a teammate. Even though me and him was good, I just didn't like it. He was frustrated. We had our words, and then that happened. But we never lost our friendship, right? The whole time, giving him phones in jail, which he got in trouble for. You get put in a hole for the phone. But, our relationship stayed intact to the point where, you know, when I got the word that he was going to get out, then I told Netflix, hey, I can help produce it, but we're going by how he wants to move, how he wants to go. Right? This is not about me. This is about us. It was a great turnaround, man. I had anxiety. I know he had anxiety about how it came out, but it was a great watch. Not gonna lie. It could have been really entertaining and dark, but they left a lot of things out. Right. And it was in a way to get the point across without really going into like the NBA story and the Wizards side of it. Right. This wasn't about how we felt of, the NBA or the Wizards. Right. That was irrelevant. What we did in that time is all on us. What we did, and business is business. The fact that a couple, of our players and teammates was involved with the story was very, very refreshing. So that came in number two. I'm on Netflix, Untold, Shooting Guard. If you haven't seen it, put it back in the top three, top five if you can. I appreciate the views. And that number one is my first appearance on First Take. Yes. Yes. You're talking about some of the best athletes, stars, content creators at this point, all came on to First Take, right? As an ex-basketball player, as a content creator, as a sports analyst in a way, getting that invite to do First Take, ESPN First Take by Stephen A. Smith, where a lot of people didn't want me on because how I am on Gil's Arena, not realizing that's that platform, but I can adapt to your platform also. So I think they was kind of nervous. I think they only had me for like a segment, and they realized, oh, okay, he's pretty good. We'll keep him on for the whole interview. But the nerves. I remember I was supposed to be there at like 6:30. I woke up at 4:30, and I was already down there just waiting outside, right? Just trying to figure out. I didn't know the rundown. I didn't know what was going on. Didn't know really much of the takes, right? So it was just basically improv. And I think Stephen A. Smith wanted to see how good I was on my feet. And I think that's why I got the other invite to Fanatics Fest, where he knows I can just, if it's about basketball and sports, I got enough up here, to hold that conversation and be, somewhat accurate. So, the fact that I got that ask to be on the show, I feel that it established me as a real sports analyst, right? I think people look at my content and I troll, duh, but they don't realize I'm a journalist too. What makes me good is I'm an ex-athlete, but I also am a journalist. So I am very well researched. Even if you don't understand where I'm pulling stuff from, it's researched, right? So if I pull stuff from back to 1935 and all of this, and you don't know what it means, I pulled it. I found it, and that's all. Is if you try to challenge the take, then there would be information behind it. So that was just a blessing for me, and that led to bigger things and bigger things. So that moment is probably the best moment of my 2025. So that was my top 10 of my 2025. I hope you enjoy my personal top 10. If you have a top 10 that you remember me for in 2025, put it in a comment below. Appreciate you. Peace.